everybody. Hello, and welcome to episode number 36. That's 3 fucking sixes. Those of you that
Holy
aren't paying
crap. 36?
36. Today is episode 36 of Hangar
Wow.
18, which that's twice 18, too. It's 3 sixes, and it's twice 18.
Double legal.
I'm saying we're all over it today, right? So anyway, welcome, thank you, and fuck you. And as Dreadwind pointed out, I got my new shiny new logo going on here. I want to thank Corey Landis for that. And with me, as always, is my Southern Fried Panty Dropper baritone, the one, the only, Dreadwind.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of that new picture now, man.
Yeah, I know. It worked out great, too, because, like, I have no money, and the guy did it for free. So, like, that was a great trade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there you go. There's that. So, anyway, as always, we're going to start off the show with a little bit of heavy metal news. And I got to admit, my heavy metal news for this week kind of sucks. Because apparently it was a slow week for heavy metal news.
Very, yeah.
Because I saw, like, next to nothing going on. But here's my heavy metal news. There's a guy who does these great cartoons online called Cooking Hostile. And what the guy does is he does like these parody cartoons of various heavy metal themes, and a lot of it is Pantera, right? Because like the whole thing started off with like Phil Anselmo doing a cooking show,
Mm-hmm.
and he would sing almost Pantera lyrics, but it'd be about cooking. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're fucking hilarious.
I've seen one or two of them, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and this guy, this is what he does. He put out this commercial, which I think is a great commercial. And it's about a drummer drone, right? And what it does is, like, he says, you're never going to get laid being back there in the back being the drummer. So, instead, like, when they're doing their solos, you press this button and your drum stand turns into a drone and lifts you up and flies you out over the audience. And, like, in the commercial, like, when he's flying out there, the propellers cut the heads off the guitarist, which is fucking pretty funny. So, that's my heavy metal news. I know that's kind of like...
What does that have to do with cooking, though?
It's got nothing to do with cooking. I thought it was pretty funny. At any rate, that's my heavy metal news. And like I said, it's kind of weak, but like I said, it must be a fucking slow week for metal news.
Definitely a slow week for
Somebody
metal.
needs to go out and do something. Like Ozzy needs to go out and like punch the Queen in the nose or something.
All right, go pee on a building or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see, like, Brent Hines, the singer for Mastodon, recently got hitched. I don't know who. I guess his girlfriend got married.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't have the date on that, but it was recent.
Brent Hines is one of the 3 singers for Mastodon. I think. Like,
okay, well, he's like the main guy, right?
Yeah, I think so. But wait, maybe I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I know the drummer sings and one of the guitarists sings too. So.
Okay. Well, I know they seem to always mention his name when they talk Mastodon, so
gotcha.
I guess he's kind of.
I think that might. He also is the one. Isn't he the one that said that heavy metal sucks?
Yeah, because he grew up listening to like country and stuff.
Yeah, well, fuck that sentiment. I like Mastodon, but fuck that.
Yeah. And then I know you're not a huge Alice Cooper fan, but your wife might be interested in Alice Cooper has a new song out.
Trust me, she was already on to it yesterday.
Paranoid Personality, I believe, is the name of it, and looks like a new album will be coming out soon.
Yeah, she was listening to it off of, like, I guess some French site had it put up, and she was listening to it over and over again yesterday.
The whole album or just a song?
This one song.
Just okay, yeah, and yeah, a new album will be titled Paranormal. I don't have a release date on that though. Wait, here it is. Paranormal will be released on July 28th.
July 28th. And so he had this album called Spiders or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this song on there called Vengeance Is Mine. And like the chorus to it just goes, Vengeance is mine, mine, mine.
Oh, I think I remember that one, yeah.
Mine. She fucking listened to that song so many goddamn times. I wanted to throw her out of the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, she is a huge Alice Cooper fan. So
yeah,
there you go. Well, that's our heavy metal news,
such
as it was this week. Kind of slow week for news, but fuck it. We didn't make the news, so fuck off. Right?
That's right.
All right. So we're going to dive into our 10 songs we're going to view. I didn't really have a theme. I picked the songs this week. I didn't really have a theme, but basically I was kind of looking for this kind of motif songs that aren't really like classics. Like it's not Number of the Beast or anything or Iron Man, but like also that don't suck ass. So like kind of in the middle as far as like, you know, really amazing, excellent, legendary songs versus really, really fucking piss poor shitbox songs. Somewhere in the middle, I think that's where I wanted these songs to go. Actually leaning more towards the good side, I think. I think there's a lot of good ones in here. And if fucking Dreadwood doesn't agree with that, he's Debbie Downer fuck. Just saying. I'm just gonna prepare you.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. First band, Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse. The band is from Buffalo, New York, formed in December of 1998. And this is song, which they always have great song titles. This is Evidence in the Furnace from Evisceration Plague 2009. And I just want to say, when I was at the Rubber City Pop Culture Festival, the guy that does
the what?
The Rubber City Pop Culture Festival.
Rubber City Pop Culture. You're gonna have to explain that one.
Okay, Akron, Ohio is the home of Goodyear.
Okay, that makes a little more sense now.
They call it the Rubber City. So there you go. They even have like a big, fuck, man. What do you think? It's like I was putting on a rubber and dancing around with like fucking Alex Trebek mask.
I don't know, man. I thought maybe you took a trip out to San Francisco and, you know,
got Quaaludes going on.
All right, but
anyway, all that fucking explanation to tell you, I saw the dude that makes the drawings for Cyanide and Happiness. You know what I'm talking about, the little stick figure cartoons?
I think so.
Yeah, anyway, he was there and he was wearing a Cannibal Corpse shirt. And when I walked by, I was like, Corpse! He fucking threw up the horns, which was pretty funny.
Throwing up the horns at Rubber City.
Yeah, nice. That was a lot of fucking preamble for that little, it was kind of like a right? All right, anyway, here's my notes. Fucking blast beats and drum change-ups. Killing it. Corpse Grinder, fucking annihilating the vocals. This is my favorite part of the lyrics here. Corpses will burn by fire. That's so fucking awesome. It's just amazing lyric right there. Perfect length song for a death metal song. I don't know why I wrote song twice, but fuck it. Slick guitars on the solo.
Mm-hmm.
And a little tidbit about this album, bassist Alex Webster said about the record, in Cannibal Corpse, our goal has always been to try and make each new album we record our heaviest. That goal was a bit more challenging this time since we were extremely satisfied with our last album, Kill. But we knew that by working with producer Eric Rutan at Mana Recording Studios again, we would be able to start at the same level of heaviness and take it even further. Evisceration Plague has the best guitar sound we've ever recorded, and that's saying something for Cannibal Corpse. And the entire band has never played with more precision and power. And I gotta say, it is very precise playing on this whole entire album, and in this song in particular. I'm a fan of Cannibal Corpse in general. They make my nipples hard, and yeah. I give it an 8.0. Dreadman, what did you think of Cannibal Corpse, Evidence in the Furnace?
Yeah, Eric Rutan, by the way, is like a legend in death metal. I mean, not just for the bands that he's been in, including Morbid Angel and Hate Eternal, but also he's a huge producer that does a lot of recording and production work with a lot of death metal bands.
Oh yeah, I think he's even got a writing credit on this album too. For like
Very likely, yeah. Yep. You know, I actually sent a I remember when he first formed Hate Eternal, I saw some sort of there was some sort of ad in a magazine for, it was Hate Eternal and another band that had like it was a combo demo that they were offering, and you had to like write in or something like that to get it. I forget the details now, but I mean, it was just like a 2-song demo along with another band that had like 2 songs on it. Also.
So it's kind of like the Han Solo Stormtrooper.
The who? What?
The Han Solo Stormtrooper or Reflector. You got to send away to get it.
Okay, something like that. Anyway, he had to write to. Yeah, I think he had to write something, PO box, whatever. So I sent off for it, right? And I got the CD in, and Eric Rutan actually wrote me like a handwritten letter.
That's awesome.
Thanking me for, hey, thanks for, getting the demo and everything, blah, blah, blah. It was pretty cool. And it was just really neat to have a handwritten letter from somebody like that, you know?
Yeah, from somebody that like basically just like goes out after a show and there's like a line of like 1,000 hot chicks and he just points to his pecker and goes, "Suck!"
Right. So anyway, all that said, back to the band at hand, which is Cannibal Corpse, and that has nothing to do with Eric Rutan other than that he produced the album. The song "Evidence in the Furnace," yeah, it blasts you in your face right from the get-go. It's pretty standard death metal as far as the song goes. Although I did notice the guitars there's some great guitar work in here, and there's quite a few change-ups. In the guitars. So I made a note because it's like this is the type of song you want to listen to if you're a guitar player and you have ADHD.
Totally with you.
Because it just continually switched up. Like it seemed like every 30 seconds they were switching guitars. It's sped up at the end. It's pretty short. Overall, it's a good solid song. I'm not a big fan of the death metal vocals and whatnot and everything, but I gave it a 7.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Our next band is a band called Death. Legendary band. This
formed in
Orlando, Florida, which, you know, if it's from Florida in the freaking early 80s, it's going to be a badass death metal band.
I think 1983.
You are correct. 1983.
Yeah.
This song, Crystal Mountain, is off their album Symbolic from 1995.
This sounds like something that would be in like Lord of the Rings, where you want to go to, like, you know, smoke something.
Yeah. Crystal Mountain, yeah. Totally with you. All right, the opening or main riff, because the opening riff is also the main riff, reminds me of a horse galloping through hell. The slow down parts have these eerie guitar effects on them that are awesome. The first big breakdown has like some like Egyptian overtones to it almost. And this song, of course, features on vocals Chuck Schuldiner, and R.I.P. to that guy because he was a fucking badass, and he's awesome on the on this particular song. His vocals, as always, are really good. The fact that the song, I wrote this down, the fact that the song has less than 2,000 views is testament to how shitty our collective taste in music has become.
Right.
During the outro, there's some sort of stringed instrument playing in counterpoint to the guitar that I can't place. Either it's like an acoustic guitar or it's like a mandolin or something, but there's some kind of other stringed instrument that they're playing on top of the regular guitar, and I can't really tell what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a sitar. I'm not sure, but anyway, I fucking love this song. And this is like one of the songs that's like in heavy rotation on my iPod. I give it an 8.5. Dreadwind, what do you think of Death, Crystal Mountain?
Death, Crystal Mountain. I do not have very many notes on this one, but there's lots and lots and lots of really, really cool ass riffs in this song.
Yep.
It's chock full of guitar riffs that are just yes, and then you hear another one and you're yes. It's awesome. A lot of tempo changes, great guitar work. That's pretty much all my notes. I just sat back and enjoyed the song. I did write. There was a bit of acoustic work at the end. Again, I'm not sure exactly what they're using. It's kind of in the background just a little bit. I wasn't sure if it was quite needed, but it was interesting when it came in. I really enjoyed the song though. It's probably one of my favorite ones off this list at an 8.5.
Oh, look at it, symbiotic.
Yeah, see that?
All right. Fucking broken clocks, right?
Twice a day. Yeah, I was about to say that.
All right, our next song is by another fucking legendary band, Fear Factory, and this is off of their Genexus album that they released in 2015. Fear Factory, of course, formed in Los Angeles, California in 1989. This song was called Dielectric, which they don't have it spelled like you would typically think of spelling dielectric. They have it spelled like, you know, die.
Dielectric.
Yeah, like die, fucker, die. Anyway, the very first comment, which this was great, the very first comment was somebody asking how much it cost the band to ship all of their gear to Cybertron. Because the video looks like they fucking filmed it in Cybertron. I fucking laughed my ass off when I read that.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway, on May 1st, 2015, it was announced that former Static X and Soulfly bassist Tony Campos had joined the band, and shortly thereafter, they released this album. So there you go. Tony Campos is on this. The opening is like this weird, almost operatic, syncopated keyboard noise, which that happens a lot in Fear Factory if you don't know. But that was their opening, and then it fucking drops on you like a hammer, and it does their standard. It switches. Well, wait a minute, I lost my place here. Yeah, it does their standard thing with Fear Factory. It always sounds like you're inside of a giant death machine. Like a lot of their songs sound like that. It just sounds very industrial.
You know, the name Fear Factory is a perfect name for this band.
Agreed.
Because it sums up their sound so well.
It definitely does. The song that switches from the scream to the soulful, clean vocals pretty flawlessly, and I think that's because they have Dino Cesares in there, and I think he's doing the screaming, and then Burton Bell's doing the clean vocals. I think that's the case.
Burton does all the vocals.
I'm not sure, but because somebody in the song description said that it's both of them doing the singing in this one. I thought it was both of them, or I thought it was just Burton too, but then I read that, I was like, maybe not. I don't know. But if it is Burton Bell, then he's fucking switching over like a champ. And if he's doing that live, that's got to take some talent.
Yeah.
At any rate, I am really a big fan of this song, as I'm a fan of Fear Factory in general. And maybe it is just Burton Bell. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I give it an 8.5 as well. Dreadlin, go ahead.
Yeah, every time you listen to Fear Factory, it sounds like you're in a factory. It's very
staccato.
I was gonna say mechanical sound.
Yeah, that too.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, it's very industrial. All those words fit the description really well for their sound. The intro I wrote was kind of interesting. Like I said, it's kind of it's definitely keyboards, but they tried to make it sound like a stringed instrument orchestra intro lead up to it, and then it just drops and you got blast beats all day long after that.
Yeah.
These songs, the song is pretty standard. Fear Factory is very similar to something you'd find off their first album, Demanufacture, which is a great album, by the way. Agreed?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
okay. All right, yeah. All their songs is like a workout for the drummer. I can only imagine what it's like being a drummer for this band.
I know. Dude, I've seen like Lars panting after he does like Creeping Death. I can't even imagine.
I know. I know, right?
Because he's got to have the big, the two bass drums, and he just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, the dude's got to have like massive calves on him when he's done, just like tree trunks.
Now, I've heard like Lombardo, what he did to get like, when he was like just learning how to play drums, he would put like weights around his ankles when he was practicing. That way, when he was playing live, it would be like much easier.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fucking drummer tidbit there for you.
That would work. Yeah. And I don't mean to say this in a naughty way, but it's going to come out that way. But Dino's forearm must be like, also massive with the constant workout that he gives his forearm. Sounds really bad. You know what I'm talking. If you listen to the song, you know what I'm talking about, because his rhythm playing is spot on with, again, like a machine.
Yeah, right with the drum, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Burton's vocals are just monstrous, and then when he breaks into the clean parts, it's like he said, it's hard to do that well, and he does it well. The only thing I kind of knocked it on was I felt like the chorus part on this song felt a little bit weak to me for some reason. I don't know what it was.
You were not the only person to think that. A fuckload of people in the comments said that same thing.
Yeah. But that was really the only knock I had on it. I still gave it an 8.5 because it's a great song.
Yeah, symbolic again.
Yeah.
All right. Broken Clock's already been right twice.
Twice already. What are we going to
be wrong for the rest of the entire show, right? All right, our next band is DRI, or Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. Formed in Houston, Texas in 1982. And this is their song Thrash Hard from the album Thrash Zone, 1989. And the thing about Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, if you don't know who they are and you call yourself a thrash metal fan, you're not. Sorry.
My first note is that they're probably the biggest underground band that no one's
right. Definitely. I mean, they're like, in my opinion, like if you're talking about 80s thrash music, if you don't mention DRI, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because they're just
they had a few crossover things where they kind of went more punk, and for a while there. So
well, I would consider thrash to be like if you have one of those like two little circle chart things, and you got metal on one circle and punk on the other circle. I would think that thrash is like pretty much close to the center of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a lot of punk overtones to it. You know what I mean? Like simple and fast. All right. Instantly, the beat and the riffage makes you think of 1980s thrash, quintessential thrash song. The tempo changes are also very classical thrash deals. And they have this lyric, and this lyric is the best lyric I've heard all week.
I know what you're talking about.
And it says, like a wild Indian from outer space, drunk and high on weed. That's so great. All right. Anyway, from this album, the song Beneath the Wheel was also made a music video, which was on MTV, and I remember them playing that before they went fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and stopped playing music and turned into a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the song was also featured, not this song, but the song Beneath the Wheel was also featured in the video game Skate 2, which I've never even fucking heard of. And here's the thing about DRI. The Kurt Brecht, who sings for DRI, always reminds me of Mike Murr.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, he definitely sounds a lot like Mike Murr. Like, he doesn't have like the Latino accent that Mike's got, but he definitely sounds a lot like him. And then there's a bass breakdown part where they just like feature the bass guitar, which I really like. Because bass is kind of like the unloved redheaded stepchild as far as thrash metal goes. But they showcase it in this song a little bit. And then they got this great part where they keep going in the pit, which is fucking badass. And if you look at DRI's logo, it looks like a street sign for "This is the mosh pit." Anyway, I'm a fan of this song because I love thrash metal. Thrash is probably my favorite genre, but I really like it. I give it an 8.0. Dread.
Hey, you want to hear a bass joke?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the band was driving back home after a gig, right? And you had the singer and guitar player and drummer rolling in the front of a pickup truck, and the bass player was sitting in the back of the truck with all the gear. And it's late at night, and Rabbit runs across the road, and they have to veer off the road, and boop, truck goes over the bridge. So they all jump out and have to swim to shore, and they get up, and the guitar player looks around, and he finds the drummer, and then they look around, and they find the singer, and they go, well, "Where's the bass player?" And they look, and he's still in the back of the truck trying to open the tailgate.
Nice.
Okay, so DRI, yeah, they're like a big underground thrash band that we covered that. So I'm just reading my notes. Great thrash rhythms throughout the song. The guitars are really impressive in the song with just the riffs, tons of riffage. I kept writing more killer guitars, and then I wrote great guitar, because the riffs just keep coming. They had some kind of like fake crowd noises in the background throughout the entire song, which like was okay at the beginning, but then it got very distracting as the song continued going, and they continued with the fake crowd noises. So I definitely could have done without that. I've never really been a huge fan of this band, in particular the singer, but the band DRI, they're a good solid thrash band from the 80s, the underground thrash and everything, but every time I see their name, I kind of have a bad taste in my mouth, because DRI's guitarist Spike Cassidy in the early 90s started his own record label, which became Rotten Records. And DRI was signed to their own record label, obviously. They started their own label for their band, but then they started signing other bands. The first actual band that wasn't them that they signed was this little band called Acid Bath.
Oh yeah.
And Spike Cassidy actually produced their debut album, and they kind of had they kind of got a bad deal out of that whole situation. So I've always kind of, every time I see Deer, it kind of ticks me off a little bit just because of that situation. So anyway, just a little extra tidbit for you.
Oh yeah.
I gave this particular song a 7.0.
All right.
Again, I really enjoyed the guitar work and throughout the song, but the rest of it was kind of eh. So.
All right. So that was wrong. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Be the Core, band from Melbourne, Australia, formed in 2004. And this song is called From Scythe to Scepter. And it's from their album Stone's Reach, 2009. And if you don't know anything about Be the Core, the band's name comes from the character Be the Core in Dark Master, the Warhammer 40K, or not 40K, Warhammer Fantasy game setting. So we have two Warhammer analogs in this. One of them is Warhammer Fantasy, and the next one will be Warhammer 40K.
Interesting.
So learn you up something about fucking tabletop miniatures, bitch. Anyway, this song is pretty good. It's got a great harmonized guitar opening. The rhythm section for the entire song is very, very strong. Some of the song structure reminds me a little bit of Iron Maiden. They go from one outstanding riff to another in a series of fucking face melters. Tons of great tempo changes throughout the entire song, and I especially love they have this like eerie guitar breakdown part, which I was pretty much a fan of that. The vocals are pretty good throughout the entire song. And there's a brief, they do this thing where they slow down and they play a little bit of acoustic, and then they just speed right back up. Like they're like, we're going to tease you with this little bit of acoustic. And then they go right back into a melodic section after they, go into the heavy section for a little bit. The cover of the album is the Perseus with the head of Medusa, which is a bronze sculpture made by Benvenuto Cellini in 1545.
Wow.
So there you go. It's got a little bit of classical art to it too. The entire song has a very epic feel to it. My only knock on it is that it could have been about 2 minutes shorter. It seems like the last 2 minutes, they could have taken that 2 minutes and made it into a whole other song. But other than that, I'm a big fan of that. I like Be the Core to start with. So I give this an 8 point. Dreadwood, go ahead. Be the Core, From Scythe to Scepter.
Be the Core. I wasn't too familiar with this band, but it's got a very progressive style intro to it. And then it kicks in really good guitars throughout the song. It's got the very deep death metal style vocals that I know you're a huge fan of.
Because they're fucking awesome.
The whole song has a very progressive feel to me. And it is a tad long, but that's kind of par for the course when it comes to progressive music.
It's probably for the course for Be the Core too.
Yeah. I really, really liked, there's some beautiful acoustic guitar work towards the end. Well, I say towards the end of a normal song.
A 7 minute epic. This was.
I think it's like 440, somewhere around there, 445. Yep. Just really beautiful guitar work. It flowed in really well. Overall, it was good. It has lots of really, really good parts, but for me, nothing tied it all together. You know what I mean? It was like good part here, good part here, good part here, but nothing that kind of tied all of those parts together into one cohesive
unit
song. It's almost like it could have been 3 separate songs, you know. But other than that, I enjoyed it for the most part. Of course, I'm not a huge fan of the vocals, but I still gave it a 7.5. So
no, that's okay. That's okay.
Not too far from you.
You would have liked them.
Get some Dio in there, man. Yeah.
All right, our next band is again another nod to Warhammer, Bolt Thrower, which like.
Hey, you know what's funny is I was writing the name of this band down, and sometimes like I think faster than I write. Most of the time I think faster than I write. So a lot of times I'll end up writing like I'll start writing the next word, so I get the letters wrong. Well, anyway, in this particular case, I was trying to write Bolt Thrower, and I wrote the T too early, so I got Bot Thrower.
Nice. Yeah, I had that problem too. Like, for instance, one time I think it was in one of my thoughts from Thundercracker. Instead of saying headbutt, I said bead butt. And somebody was like, "I don't know what the fuck bead butting is, but I don't want to have it happen to me."
Yeah, I do that all the time though. I'll start, and before I realize it, I've written the first couple of letters to the next word.
Yeah, your head,
You know.
your head gets ahead of your fingers.
Yeah, I'm like, oops. Go
All
ahead.
right, Bolt Thrower, formed in Coventry, England in 1986. This is someone's called the Kill Chain, and it's from their album Those Once Loyal, released in 2005. And the song starts out like at a really low volume, and then they turn the volume up to like some kick-ass grindage. The backing guitar on the main riff sounds to me like a machine gun, and then they go into the chorus guitar, which sounds like a vicious hand-to-hand battle. So the whole song sounds like a fucking big battle, which is par for the course for Bolt Thrower too. That's what they often do. Martin, quote, Kitty Kearns, who had been Bolt Thrower's drummer from 1994 to 1997, and again since 2000, died unexpectedly at the age of 38, which is way too young for a dude to be dying.
Wow.
Yeah, on September 14th of 2015. As a result of his death, Bolt Thrower canceled an Australian tour, which would have been their first since 1993. On September 14th, 2016, on the first anniversary of Kearns' death, Bolt Thrower announced on their website that they would no longer continue.
Wow.
Explaining, "We spent over 20 years together touring the world with 3 different vocalists, but he was so much more than a drummer to us. So when we carried his coffin to his final resting place, the Bolt Thrower drummer position was buried with him. He was and will now forever remain the Bolt Thrower drummer, our powerhouse friend, Martin Kitty Kearns." So that's pretty sad right there. You know, the guy dies at 38 and it ends a really badass band. So, I mean, that happens, right? Like, you can't really have death without shorting or even. So,
yeah,
there you go. Rumors of the band's breakup were confirmed 2 days later by frontman Carl Willits, stating, "I confirm Bolt Thrower is definitely over for good. There will be no reunion tours, etc. No compromise." But anyway, back to the song at hand. After that fucking downer, the song has a lot of guitar dives sprinkled throughout it, which is also pretty typical of Bolt Thrower. The fade out at the end I thought was a tad too lengthy because it's like 25 seconds long. I wasn't a fan. The beginning was like maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Fade out the end, way too long. And the album itself, Those Once Loyal, is talking about the Horus Heresy, where a bunch of Space Marine chapters in Warhammer 40k turned against the Imperium, which probably people wouldn't know that if they weren't fans of Warhammer 40k. At any rate, fucking brilliant song from a brilliant band on a brilliant album. I give it a 9.0. Dreadwing.
Wow. So, like, do all their songs revolve around Warhammer 40k?
Very many of them do, yes. Quite a few of them.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. I don't really listen to them that much.
And that's just why you failed.
That is why you failed. The intro on this one has got a fade in intro, and it just fades into straight up thrash, man. It got a heavy rhythm with a bit of a groove to it that I liked. Again, we got some death metal style vocals. I wrote that the guitars are kicking ass in this song.
Yep. Or does that then?
Yeah. Just really, really great guitar riffs. A little surprised there was no solo. I was just gonna let it go. A little surprised there was no guitar solo in it. Is that something they normally don't do?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Sometimes some of their albums are pretty heavy with guitar solos. Sometimes none.
Okay, that's fine. Just made a note. It was a good, solid song. It was kind of short, wasn't it?
No, I think it was like 4.5 minutes long.
Okay, well, felt a little shorter than that for some reason.
Were you high when you listened to it?
Maybe so. I could have done with a little bit different vocal style. That's a common theme for me today. I don't know. It was good, but I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Man, you just do not. You're just not down with the death metal vocals.
Not down with it. No.
One of these days, it's 4 minutes and 41 seconds is how long it was.
Okay, it didn't feel that long.
Man, that's what she said.
So.
Oh. But at any rate, yeah. One of these days, you're gonna have an epiphany and realize, man, I've been being a pussy my entire life. Death metal's awesome. All right, moving on to our next band, Asphyx, and this is their song "Death Hammer." And Asphyx.
Hey, you know what? You know what would have made that song better?
What's that?
Flanger.
Oh, nice. All right, Asphyx, formed in, I don't even know how the fuck to say this. Ovary Jessel. Ovary Jessel? I don't know. That sounds like some lube that you put on your ovaries. But Ovary Jessel, Netherlands in 1987. This is the title track of their 2012 album. My notes are that they have a fucking killer old school video. The song is a goddamn sledgehammer right out the rip. It does not slow down ever. Sounds like old school 80s thrash metal. The drumming is precision, heavy. The vocals are spot on. Their strained heavy metal faces that they're making every time the camera goes on them are righteous in their glory. They have that face on every time the camera's on, they have that face like they're trying to squeeze out a turd, which is perfect for metal guitar. Perfect length for this sort of song. Comes in, kicks your ass, and leaves you bloody really quickly. And then my little tidbit of knowledge here. On October 14th, 2015, Asphyx made an announcement that they are working on a new album at the end of November for the long-awaited Death Hammer follow-up, and will begin their first tour in Latin America. In Latin America, they love their metal down there, that's for sure. Yeah. Anyway, I give this song a 7.5. Dredden, what did you think of Asphyx Death Hammer?
Brutal opening.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal opening. It's the whole. I don't have a lot of notes on this one. Very straightforward death metal. It's fast, it's brutal, and it's short. Mm-hmm. That pretty much sums up the whole thing. The video, we talked earlier, one of the other bands had guitars. The guitars sounded like the song was perfect for guitar players that had ADHD. Mm-hmm. This video is perfect for people with ADHD.
Oh yeah, it just kept switching around everything.
Yeah, every like second and a half, you switch to a different thing.
Yes.
Also noted that the singer kind of looks like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but the singer kind of looks like he would be one of the guys from Leonard Skinner.
He does a little bit. You're right.
Yeah, you could see him. You could totally see him with the Leonard Skinner guys. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I like Leonard Skinner, but I just noted that.
You're as free as a bird, man.
Play some Skinner. Yeah.
Skinner, dude.
There was a bit of a change up right at the end, like the last 15, 20 seconds. And I kind of expected that to like go somewhere into something else.
Stopped?
And it did. It just stopped. And I was like, okay. Why do you tease me like that? I gave it a 7.5 also.
Hey, look at that. Symbiotic again.
Yeah, I know, right? And okay, go ahead.
That's after my preamble of Dreadwin's going to be a downer bitch today.
Yeah, right.
You're turning out to not be one. I know.
I'll
just preparing people for the worst. All right. Our next band is a band called Decapitated, which is a great name for a band. They are from Krosno, Poland, 1996. I think we've had, of course, we've had a Polish band. We've had Vader on before. On. Like we were hosting these bands at our basement. That'd be great, but that's not the case. All right. But anyway, the song is called Homo Sum, and the album is called Carnival is Forever from 2011. And my very first note is, holy fuckity fuck. That opening riff is fuckity fuck heavy. Maybe just fucking kill it out of the gate. And here's the thing, and I think this could be said about this entire song. Drumming. Oh my God, the fucking drumming.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Pretty much all of these bands, I mean, monster drummers all over the place.
And here's my other note here. The entire band has really great hair. Like, I don't know if they fucking got some L'Oreal Paris going on or what. They have really awesome hair. They do this, like, in one spot of the song, they do this, like, weird whale sound on their guitar. Sounds like almost like, like a whale mating call. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the fucking Star Trek
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Whoa, whoa. and it's perfect where they do it. But here's my my knock on them. I hate it when the singers feel the need to like lunge at the camera in the video, which he does that a lot. I'm not a fan of that. Anyway, little tidbit of knowledge for you about Decapitated. In late 2007, the band was involved in an automobile accident, and one of their members, Vitek, died at the age of 23.
Wow.
And also, Coven, another one of their members, slipped into a coma from this car accident.
Yeah, there's a common theme going on here. Going back to I mentioned acid bath when we were talking about DRI, and that was actually one of the reasons why they broke up was around 1990. Oh, forgive me, I forget exactly which year, but I'm going to say between 96 and 98. I forget exactly what year
I guess
it was.
97.
Somewhere's in there. But their bass player, Audie, was involved in a car accident, and he was him and his family, and they got hit by a drunk driver, and Audie, the bass player, his mom and his dad all got killed.
No, fuck, that fucking sucks.
The only one that survived was he had a younger brother that survived the crash. So yeah, that sucks. It's common theme, dying young in here.
Yeah, definitely.
Never a good thing.
The rainy roads in the plane.
Yeah, because he was in his 20s. You know, I forget his exact age, but again,
and Cliff in the bus.
Way too young. Yeah.
All right, let's get off that morbid subject. The song is about 1 minute too long, in my opinion, as it gets a little bit repetitive at the end. And my favorite part about this was not my favorite part. The part that I liked about this was somebody in the comments says, "Hey, homo sum means I am the man or I am a man in Latin," and then somebody wrote underneath it, "Homo sum in English is the gay result of adding two integers."
Okay.
I just found that amusing. That somebody wrote that. I love that. Anyway, Homo Sum by Cap. I fucking love this song. I give it an 8.5. Dreadwood.
Wow. Yeah. See, usually when I rate things, usually how I rate stuff, it all depends on like the first couple songs, because I kind of go based off of that. Because like once I give a song a rating on the list, you
don't want to like rate something really great and then have a really great one later on that like I really can't give it a 10, but.
Yeah, because like, well, this one I already rated as this, and I liked that one better than this one, so I can't rate this one higher than the one I already rated earlier. So yeah, you know, that kind of thing. So I kind of base the ratings off of how I've rated other songs.
Are you preparing us that you're going to give this a shit rating?
Possibly. Yeah, Decapitated has got really fast guitars, and again, I wrote Workout for the drummer because we just mentioned that a lot of these songs are just monster drumming. It's kind of more the same in that it's fast and brutal, just like the other 8 songs that we've already done.
Yeah, that's what I like.
But the problem I have with that is that there was nothing in this one that made it stand out, apart from the guitar solo, which I thought was interesting, but it felt really out of place because it was, the whole song is fast and brutal, and then the guitar solo was those kind of whale noise thing going on that just, again, it was interesting. Taken out of the song by itself, the solo itself was interesting, but in context with the song, it just really felt out of place and didn't fit for me. So I gave it a 7.0.
Oh man, that was way wrong. All right, let's move on to King Parrot.
King Parrot.
King Parrot from Melbourne, Australia, 2010. This is Shit on Liver Again from their album Bite Your Head Off. And my very first note is they have an amazing cover art, and it's got a skull coming out of a head through the mouth to bite another person's head off, which is fucking awesome. I'm not really a fan of the blast beat mixed with the high pitch screech. Not a fan of that. But when they slow it down to the swing beat, it's pretty awesome that they do like in between there.
Yeah.
You would never think that the lead singer of this band is fat, but he definitely is. I saw these guys live opening for Super Joint Ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like, they come out and the bassist and the singer just both take their shirts off, and they're both giant fat fucks.
Mm.
And their big thing is they like to throw water at people at their shows, which is okay, I guess.
You know what other bands got a real big heavy guy for their singer is
Crowbar?
Well, yeah, them too. I was gonna say Texas Hippie Coalition.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, right on.
Real big, yeah.
Anyway, the song is not exactly a classic. This is my last note, like word for word. Not exactly a classic, but okay for what it is in the length, because it's like 2 minutes long. And I intentionally picked this version of the song because they have it like a video version. And let's just say they do some really weird stuff in the video. And this band, I think they're on Phil Anselmo's record label, if I'm not mistaken. Them and Child Bite and a couple other bands. Anyway, King Parrot shit on the liver. I give a 7.0. Dreadwood, what do you think?
Well, you were kinder than I was. I wrote cool guitar intro. Did not like the vocals at all.
Oh, come on.
Didn't like any of the vocals. Well, I take that back. I think there's one little part where he stopped screaming for like 10 seconds and did a little lower register. That was okay. There's some good riffs mixed in the otherwise shit pie of a song that it was. And my other note is at least it's short.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I was ready for that one to end, so I'm glad it ended when it did. I gave it a 6.0.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
Aptly named song. I'll say that.
All right. Moving on to higher and better, broader vistas, we have the band Tear. Tear are from, it looks like it says Torshaven. I'm not exactly sure what that fuck is supposed to mean, but Torshaven. Right. Torshaven, like 9 consonants in a row. Anyway, Torshaven, Faroe Islands, 1998. And this is from their album By the Light of the Northern Star, which was released in 2009. The song was called Hold the Heathen Hammer High. And you can hear the song when you read the title, like I always do. They take their name from the Tyr, which is the god of law and justice, which he's the dude that put his hand in the Chaos Hound's mouth and had it bit off. So they always show him with, like, one less hand, which I guess was one. In September 2012, they signed a 3-album deal to Metal Blade Records, which is a good thing because, like, a lot of their earlier stuff, you could never really find it unless you're like a super big Tyr fan like I am, and you find them all on eBay. But like, it's hard to find, these not so popular bands because you're not going to go to like fucking Best Buy and find them in the fucking CD bin.
Yeah.
You pretty much have to find them.
There's a great one on eBay called Import CDs.
I think that's where I got all of them.
Yeah, and they get a lot of good stuff that you can order from them. I've ordered several things from them before.
I fucking love the opening, right? They just do that like slow, that's fucking awesome. It reminds me of long ships coming out of the mist to fuck up the French coast. That's my next sentence I wrote down there. The vocals by Harry Johansson. He's like the driving force, and he's like the model-looking dude with his shirt off all the time. Are fucking brilliant. The vocals are brilliant.
I don't think he owns a shirt.
He might not. The vocals are brilliant, as are the lyrics. When I was listening, the only problem I had was when I was listening to the song, my headphones turned into a helmet, and my computer desk turned into a wolf, and I had to ride him into battle. So I had to do that. It was kind of harrowing at times, because I had all these like arrows coming at me. But anyway, it was okay. My favorite part is the heathen heart, pagan pride. I fucking love that. And the song, in my opinion, I don't know what you thought about it, but the song is about being a proud Satra, which is like people that follow the Norse faith before the Christians came in and said, "Do it our way, or you're dead."
Yeah.
And the heathen hammer is, of course, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. I fucking love the video. I love everything about this song. I give it a 9.0.
Absolutely. It's Vikings doing Viking shit. What's not to like?
Yeah, right on.
It's got an epic intro that we talked about. with a really cool guitar harmony in it that I like. Then it switches to the fast guitars, and then they have a middle bridge section that you were kind of talking about too, where they go back to the epic intro part, which I thought was a great tie-in. Great lyrics, great solo. This would be an awesome theme song for the actual show Vikings. Right?
Yeah, fucking A. They missed the boat on that, that's for sure.
Ha! They missed the boat.
Ha, zinger.
I see what you did there. Yeah, absolutely a great song. This is one of my favorite Tier songs, and the lyrics, like I said, the lyrics are great. They're definitely talking about, like you said, just what they refer to as pagan pride. But I mean, they had this. The Vikings had their own Norse religion for, since forever, before the Christians came in and said, "Oh, you're wrong. You have to do this now." And the heathen hammer refers to, like you said, Mjolnir, which is Thor's hammer, which has kind of become their symbol of their faith. So a lot of them, even to this day, a lot of them will wear the symbol of Thor's hammer around their neck or something.
I got a Thor's hammer necklace.
Yeah. And they'll even, that'll be carved on their tombstones and stuff. So tombstones, not the pizza, but the tombstone. But yeah, it's basically saying, hey, don't be, shameful of your heritage and and everything else, and don't have somebody else come and tell you how to live your life. Live your life the way you want to live it, So I'm a huge fan of this song. I love this song. Give it a 9.5.
Damn. All right. I was going to say one more thing too. Is like Henry Johansson, the lead singer of Tyr. He gets a lot of shit because he makes no bones about the fact that he will eat whale, right? And here's the thing about that: those Faroe Islands, they've been doing that for fucking centuries. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's just doing it just to fuck whales. It's like he's just gonna stab this whale, fuck him. They're doing it because it's his heritage, right? Not because he hates the environment or anything. But anyway, fine. SJW find a reason to be pissed about anything, right? Anyway, moving on. Hey, instead of concert stories this week, we are going to do something new, something that might be a recurring theme since we're all out of concert stories. Other than we went to the concert and it was good. And yeah, fuck, I'm going to go to a Slayer concert here coming up in a couple of weeks. It's fucking $250 for VIP. Ouch. I know, I'm probably going to do it anyway because you get like a signed flag and you get a drumstick and you get to like stand on a little side elevated thing, which means you're right up there like in the front, but you're not on the floor. And you're actually like looking down on the band, which is kind of cool. But anyway, I'm probably going to do it because they got Lamb of God there too. It's Lamb of God, Behemoth, and Slayer, which could be a badass show.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about a major band. We're gonna talk about their first 5 albums. We're gonna talk about our favorite songs from those first 5 albums. And the one we picked to start out with, and by we I mean me, I picked Metallica, and their first album, Kill 'Em All, which actually was originally going to be called Metal Up Your Ass.
Right.
And my favorite song off of Kill 'Em All is The Four Horsemen. And yes, I understand. I know people are going to say, well, that's just a rework of the Mechanics, which Dave wrote, Dave Mustaine. And I like the Mechanics. I like it just fine. But it's not The Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen is a fucking amazing song.
Yep.
So my Kill 'Em All choice is The Four Horsemen.
Yeah, with Four Horsemen, they took a good song and made it better.
Yeah, right on. Right on.
You know, I have a hard time picking one song off.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Because Four Horsemen is great, Whiplash is great, Seek and Destroy is great, but one of my favorites has always been Phantom Lord.
Fucking A.
I don't know what it is about that song. One of the more underrated songs on an album. It doesn't get a lot of play even when they're live, but it's always been one of my favorites. The little pick scrapes that they do, you know, and just the whole song is really awesome. So
Phantom Lord and Four Horsemen. All right, moving on.
Indeed.
Their second brilliant album, Ride Some Lightning. As James is often found saying live, but it's Ride Lightning. I picked, and this is another run where you have about the entire album is great choices.
Yeah.
I picked Creeping Death.
Nice, yeah.
Because Creeping Death's an amazing song, and like it's like one of those songs. I guess like somebody was telling. I read this story about this woman telling her kid that Metallica will make you go to hell and it's bad and all that jazz. They're like, well, look at the lyrics to this song. It's basically the Old Testament, like the plagues or whatnot. So
yeah,
I mean, even do the Hail to Fire, Hail to Fire. But anyway, Ride the Lightning, I chose Creeping Death, Dreadwing.
Yeah, again, another great album with a bunch of great songs to choose from. I almost picked. Oh, you there?
Yeah. I pulled out my my thing.
Okay, I heard an echo or something. I was like, "Oh, what happened?"
I pulled out my headphones thing for a second.
I almost picked For Whom the Bell Tolls. It was really close. But also, Trapped Under Ice is a good one.
Oh yeah.
Call of Cthulhu, another great instrumental. But I also went with Creeping Death on this one. It's always been one of my favorites off that.
I kind of had a feeling we were going to be symbiotic on that one.
Yeah,
I really did.
Creeping Death is just an amazing song.
Yeah,
and it's amazing live too.
Fucking A, and it's got crowd participation for yeah, really, really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of crowd participation from the first one, Seek and Destroy.
Yeah.
But, all right, so moving on to Master of Puppets, and I guarantee we picked two different ones from this one because I picked Disposable Heroes. And
it's a good one.
And like you say, Disposable Heroes, in my opinion, is the underrated track of this album, right? Because you got Battery and fucking Damage Incorporated, and of course Master of Puppets. Well, I love Disposable Heroes. So I like the lyrical content of it. Like as soon as very first time I heard James Hetfield talking about barking machine gun fire, totally knew that was going to be my favorite song of this album. So, Disposable Heroes from Master of Puppets is my favorite. Dreadwing, what'd you pick?
Back to the Front.
Yeah, right on. That's it.
Yeah, God, this is an album where you can literally cover your eyes and just point randomly,
and it's gonna be a great song.
There's no bad song. there's no wrong choice on this album. I could list the whole album and why I like each and every song on it. One of my favorites was always Damage Incorporated. Another one of my favorites was always Leper Messiah. Another underrated.
Send me green, heaven you'll meet.
Great rhythms in that song. Another underrated one off that album. But I've got to go with, I think, my all-time, if I have to pick one, and gosh, this is such a narrow margin between all of these songs. If I have to pick one, I think I'm going to have to go with The Thing That Should Not Be.
Oh, fucking great. I think on the live, the box set, I think Jason Newsted introduces it. This is just about the heaviest number of all time.
Yeah. It's just, I love the lyrical content. It's got that Cthulhu vibe going on, Lovecraftian themes. And it's just, every time I've heard this song, since the first time I heard it, I've had the perfect video in my head. And I was like, if only I was a video director, I could create the video for the song. Because
when a band, when their music makes you see things in your head, that to me is a sign of a good song.
Yes, and I can just picture black and white video with everything. It's just there. So that's the one for me.
All right, the next album, of course, is In Justice for All, and I bet you we matched up on this one because I chose one.
Oh no, we didn't.
Oh shit! All right. Anyway, one. Of course, you have the when they do it live, they have the the Sounds of War beginning, and they have the breakdown part where they do Landmine, and then they do Darkness, which I don't know if you guys know this, but in the original, it was Landmine twice. Because I happen to have the demo version of the song one, and he does the Landmine Has Taken My Sight twice in a row. Yep. Yeah, didn't know that, did you?
No.
Gonna learn you up something. But anyway, I chose one, and one is probably, I would bet, in my top 10 metal songs of all time. Because it's a brilliant ass song.
Yeah, definitely up there. And I almost picked this one.
But you went with Blackened?
No. I went with something else, but I was just, while we're still talking about one time I tried to write a parody when I was like a teenager at this time, right? So probably 16, And I tried to write a parody of one, kind of like in a Weird Al style, with different lyrics. And
Right.
I think I was going to call it Two, and it had something to do with sharks.
What?
Like sharks are biting me, and something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, sharks have
the breakdown part. Yeah.
Yeah, have bitten my legs, bitten my arms, something like that. It's been so long, I don't remember the rest. But anyway, for this one, I picked, again, such a narrow margin, but I went with Harvester of Sorrow.
Oh, nice one.
I've always loved this. Was just got a great rhythm to it, and I don't know what to say about it. It's just a great song, great rhythm, great solo. Everything about it's great.
So, is it pretty great?
It's great, yeah. It's great.
So I'm not sure if you I'm pretty sure you probably don't know this, but in the game Warhammer 40K, there's a race called the Eldar, which are like these elves, right? And they have this figure. He's like a character figure called the Harvester of Souls, right?
Oh, cool.
And he's got like this like skull armor, and he has like this big like Reaper thing going on. And every time that character would get put on the board, we would always go, Harvester of Soul, language of the bat.
Nice.
Because anyway.
You know what I used to do too? Remember back in the day we had cassette tapes, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And we had to, you'd make like you'd record songs on your cassette deck and stuff. Mm-hmm. And what I did was every time I'd make a mixtape and I'd do this song, the part where it stops?
Uh-huh.
I would pause the recording tape and like let it like go for just a little bit longer for that stop part than what it normally does, just to throw people off.
Oh, yeah. Like James does when he does live?
When they do it live, that's exactly where I got it from, because they do that live. They'd stop and he'll just, sometimes he'd like, yeah, he'll just sit there and laugh for a minute, because you expect it to kick right back in and it doesn't. So I used to do that on my mixtapes, just for the hell of it.
All right, finally, the Black Album, the self-titled Metallica album. Not my favorite Metallica album of these five, by a long shot. But I guess still an okay album. But I chose Sad But True.
Good one.
That's my favorite from the Metallica Black Album. What did you choose?
Yeah, it's not my favorite of this five, but it's probably the last Metallica album that I actually enjoyed.
Me too.
As a whole. Again, I'm symbiotic on this one, man. Sad But True is definitely, probably by far my favorite on this one. There's some good songs on here, this album, but I think this one is clearly head and shoulders above pretty much all the rest of them. Unlike the other albums where we had such a hard time picking.
Right.
I think
yeah, it's hard to fucking just pick one nugget of gold from a pile of gold.
Right. So I think this was a much clearer choice on this album. But Sad But True. And I remember Jason talking about it. He said he remembered when they were writing this song, he was wanting a song that was like The Thing That Should Not Be.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to do a real heavy song like that. That was kind of where he was coming from. I'm not sure how much input he had in the writing process.
Probably very little.
Probably very little. Yeah, it's mostly James and Lars. But he did have some writing credits on here. So, but yeah, definitely the gold nugget off of this album for sure.
All right.
All right.
Well, that wraps it up for our little taste of what we liked from Metallica's first five albums. We might do it again next week. Next week it might be Megadeth. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But anyway, now comes to our favorite part of the show. At least everyone's favorite part of the show. I'm not doing anything this weekend at all. No conventions this weekend. I know. It's crazy. But next weekend, I will be at Origins Game Fair, which is it's like Gen Con, except about 1/10 the size. It's in Columbus. The Greater Columbus Convention Center. I'll be at Origins Game Fair, so if you want to get a picture with Cobra Trooper, that's your chance.
Nice. You got your Dragon Con ticket, didn't you?
I got my Dragon Con. They call it membership for those that are in the know.
Yep.
But I did again. In fact, get that. In fact, I like the way they do that, because the way Gen Con does it is they just send you you got to pay $10 for them to send a badge through the mail.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose it, you're fucked. So
Yeah, you're gonna at Dragon Con you're gonna pick it up there, and there's gonna be a huge room that's just for getting your membership, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Even at Gen Con's only like 50,000 attendance, but the line for it is like, I don't know, hugely long. It's actually a funny story. I was in the line for Gen Con one time, and there were these people like that would walk up and down the line telling people to get closer to the wall so they weren't like blocking traffic, right? And like, man, what is the deal with these line Nazis? And this guy in front of me turned around and says, man, the Nazis were awesome at lines, weren't they? What the fuck, man? But anyway, yeah, I'll be at Origins Game Fair next weekend. So that's that.
Dragon Con has a pretty good method of going with the membership thing. I said they got the big line, but you'll have a separate line for pre-registry.
Right. Versus people that are picking it up there. Yeah.
You'll skip it as opposed to the people getting it there, and then even the ones getting it there, they break them up between if you're paying cash or if you're paying card, and it kind of flows pretty well.
So it's actually like organized and they've thought it out as opposed to some cons just like, dude, go wherever. Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Well, that about does it for this week's Hangar 18. We went a little long, but fuck it. Anyway, stay metal, Dreadwind.
Stay metal. Catch y'all next week.
All right, we're out.